What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTubeverse? Just feeding my fish. Got a little bit of veggie. Gonna put those in first. A little bit of a lime bean kind of thing, and a bit of zucchini. It is good to put vegetables. They are frozen veggies, so they are not from a can. They are not salted. Do not give salted foods to your freshwater stuff. Not very good. But I got some micro pellets this time. I jump between these and the fluval bug bite stuff. It's very good. These micro pellets are nice because they break down super easy, and they're very small and easy to eat for, little guppies. I got some neon tetras, which I'm going to be adding some more here soon, because I did have a loach, yo-yo loach, pass away randomly. I don't know what happened. The other the other yo-yo loach is doing just fine, but yep. So that group of 6 is going to turn into a group of 10. So I'm going to grab about 4 more little neons when that's all good and set. Plants are growing in pretty good. You're starting to see towards the back, and on the back there are some other plants as well. Thankfully, it's clearing out nice. Having way less snails is way, way better. But today is not about this tank, even though it's looking so much nicer from what it was before. Still far from being done. Hey, little panda. And then, so what we're going to talk about today is substrate, essentially. So specifically for lizards, leopard geckos, because I had someone ask specifically about their leopard gecko, talking about that their gecko's waste, their doo-doo, is very dirty. So what I do to keep it clean is in this dirt, under this stuff, I do have isopods and stuff, springtails as well. So little guys, there's one of them running away now. They get into the dirt and kind of live up in there. So you don't really see very much of them. You can see through the urates, the little white bits, they are always cleaning up. I don't have to really clean up after them, and the live bamboo then soaks up what they leave behind, so it's a fun ecosystem. That corner will get non-chlorinated water pretty much every couple of days to keep this nice and humid in here. I do daily or every other day kind of a thing. If I miss a day, I put a little bit extra in. If it's a daily, I have a little routine about how much I would put in there and so on. So, she's doing good. She is not in her normal hiding spot, so that means she is up in her humid hide area, which is over in this side of things, probably under that right there. She is in shed. She is shedding. She was looking nice and ashy yesterday, and looked like she was almost wearing a onesie, so what they'll do is they'll go and hide away, and they'll go and shed the old skin, and leopard geckos eat the old shed. They also eat powder as it is. She knocked some dirt in there, so I will have to change that up. This is morning time, so this is also me taking the time to look around and checking my animals. So, why it's like this is because that's the way I found to like it. There's different substrates, different ways of doing things, so I'm going to talk about that real quick. So, a couple of things. You can do lizard carpet. You can find them in most pet stores. It's called lizard carpet, repta habitat carpet, repta carpet, all sorts of things. Like carpeting for reptiles. Most pet store peoples will know what you're talking about when you tell them that. The other thing is the loose dirt. You want it to be very loose. You don't want it to clump if it's a little bit damp in your fingers, because that's the idea of, if it gets into the lizard system, it could cause clumpage and stuff, and then that's impaction, and impaction leads to a very bad time. So that's the nice way of saying it, bad time. So with that, be very careful with your substrate. Usually if you're a new leopard gecko owner, you might want to stick more towards lizard carpet or something. And then what you can also do, which I did have someone, commenting last night, which is why this video is coming out today, how to, keep it clean and stuff. They have an issue with their lizards' doo-doo being very stinky. So for that, I would recommend, if that's the case, put a small paper towel, fold it up a couple times, lightly mist it, very lightly, like a couple spritz of some water bottle. Use some dechlorinated water from the water bottle just in case the lizard kind of nibbles at it or something. Trace amounts of chlorine cannot necessarily be always deadly, but can cause illness and extreme discomfort in the stomach and everything for them. So be very careful with your water. Make sure that you are dechlorinating it and cleaning it up. Another thing, I have heard people do sand. and cedar and stuff like that. So wood chips and cedar, make sure they're big chunks that they can't really eat them well. And the good thing is to set a bunch of stones and hides over it so they don't really get into it too much, because they do like to dig and they do like to get in there. Cedar breaks up very easy and it could cause problems with their noses and stuff. It's much better for stuff like serpents and so on when it comes to reptiles, because they're not really going to be breaking it apart with their claws. And they dig through stuff like that very similarly. Snakes actually have ways to keep themselves from getting that stuff all up in their face and making them all nasty. And yeah. So for animals like a leopard gecko that likes to dig, cedar will probably not be the best choice. Sand, I've had a lot of people say sand because they are Middle Eastern native creatures, leopard geckos are. However, where they are from and where they're found in these areas, they're not in the sandy parts. They usually settle in rocky areas or small oases around where they can find food easily, because food follows water sources and plants, being that they are insectivores. Insects mostly are omnivorous and will find plant matter to chew on as well as other insects. So that is where you're going to find your leopard geckos, because they're going to be finding areas easiest to hunt their favorite foods. And they do not eat fruits or vegetables, again, because leopard geckos can't do that. So knowing that, you have to keep in mind what they're going to do. They're always using their tongue to lick and decide where they're going and what's happening. When I picked my substrate, I made sure, excuse me, I made sure that the dirt stayed nice and loose and everything. I was a little nervous about some of the clumps that were in there and so on, but honestly, she does really good. Mostly she eats on top of this rock and stuff, and even when she gets crickets, and I've seen her do very good at catching the crickets, she doesn't really eat that. She got good at spitting any bits out, probably because it doesn't taste good to her, but mine's kind of like a loose, rep the soil coconut fiber kind of thing. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to stop. I had fuzzes and something in my throat. And did not feel good when you work with a bunch of fuzzy animals. I gave him this chair, and he's doing exactly what I thought he'd do with it. He's just chewing it up. That's another kind of substrate for mammals, though, but that's paper substrate. So, yeah, now that I'm done coughing and I can talk again, hey, all right. So, what I was getting at here, the stuff I picked is for a reason. And even the crickets most of the time favor the rock surfaces. I put about 5 in there last night, so there's probably a couple hanging around. I saw her snag a few. But her tail is looking nice and thick, so she is definitely eating well, because she also has probably eaten some isopods and other things. Another good reason for an ecosystem. So if you want to do an ecosystem, you're going to have to use the soil. Sand is very, very difficult to do this with, and other substrates. Lizard carpet is just not going to happen, because there's nothing really good for the roots to plant and get nutrient from. Whereas with my bamboos and stuff, with the dirt, you can see they're getting so long, it's twisting to its side. So in a little bit, I'm going to have to trim. And then we do have some loose, sort of falling over leaves, dirty old leaves kind of coming up. Excuse me. We trim those and we put them down to the isopods, and they eat those. That's extra eats for them. I'll also put down vegetables and things. It's very important to keep the isopods and springtails going, because that's what keeps the smell down, because they get to that doo-doo very quickly and they eat it up very fast. They don't do that with the urates as much. So urates, when I keep saying that, that's the white stuff when you see a lizard poop. There it goes. So birds and lizards do not normally pass water. Amphibians do. Turtles can, because they're amphibious. Things that usually dwell in water can urinate, but crested geckos and leopard geckos and geckos of species of most of that variety do not. They have a little white thing that sits on top of doo-doo. That is the urate. Now, if the urate's white, nice and healthy, if it's yellow or brown, they're dehydrated. So you might want to fix up something, make sure that they're getting something to drink. With leopard geckos, that's going to be a bit more difficult, because you cannot supplement fruits and vegetables for them. But when it comes to substrate, I find lizard carpet or the dirt's good. As far as smell and stuff goes, keeping that paper towel in the corner, and whenever they use the bathroom, just kind of like pulling that paper towel out, man. Even a napkin or something. Just something that is a little thick enough to kind of stay in place if they walk over it, but also light and easy enough that you can just pick it up and throw it away after a couple of, doo-doos, in a sense. Usually the stench will happen because you cannot find all the poop at once. So I find sometimes that when poop stacks up, so if it is smelling really bad from the enclosure, the terrarium, whatever you got, try lifting up some of the hides and stuff, seeing what's under there. Leopard geckos usually use the bathroom in one spot, which will be in the coolest, most humid spot within their tank, corner opposite of their sort of heating pad or heating emitters, whatever kind of lamp or heat apparatus you have for them. They will go to the bathroom opposite of that. And in nature, for the same reason why the isopods and springtails are in there. They're hoping that the natural little cleaner insects that are in nature will clean their poop up for them. If you look at their tunnels, they are intricate, very intricate tunnels where they have a bathroom spot, they have an eating spot, and they have a sleeping spot. So they have that, and when you put them in an enclosure like that, obviously they don't have that thick substrate to dig through. That's why she has about 7 hides in there, so she has that cave system that she feels cozy with. Other than that, nothing really big to hit on that topic. Thank you for that commenter for going ahead and asking a good question. And also, I heard they subscribed, so thank you so much. If y'all can follow in those footsteps, that helps me out so much for bringing this channel into more of new light of people's vision. I can help more people with their animals and so on. And hey, y'all helping me out too, because as I see these comments and stuff, sometimes y'all call me out on things that ain't exactly quite right. And it takes me to be humble and look at myself. So we're helping each other out here. As I try and teach y'all about animals, you're teaching me back and same. So the more people we have on this channel, the bigger this community gets, the more we can all learn together. So I'm so thankful. I'm ahead of the curve where I thought I would be. I never thought I'd be at 500 subscribers already. I thought it'd be like until December, maybe January, I might have been hitting 500. I'm already past that. I'm at 550. I'm halfway to 600 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you stinking awesome people. So I just wanted to say and end with that real quick. I do hope that my information did help out some. I don't even got me in my hat or nothing. I still got bedhead, so I'm going to get ready, start up my day. But I was thinking about this while I was up at night pretty much, and I thought, hey, man, first chance I get, let me answer this good question with just a video instead of just a big long comment. So I do hope this helps. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.